My name is Sacred Sword, and welcome back to my Pokemon Black and White playthrough. Last time, we set off from home in Nuvema Town, picked our starter, and obtained the Trio Badge. Now, we are on our way to the second gym, but of course, first things first, and this is the main reason why I saved inside of the gym. In the first part, we gotta go get the HM for Cut. Hey there, I'm Fennel. Professor Juniper asked me to give you something. Please follow me. You're going to meet all of the Pokemon in the Unova region, am I right? Oh, the stairs are right here. My room is upstairs here. Come on, go upstairs. So like I said, I'm Fennel. As you can see, I'm a scientist. In fact, the subject I'm researching is trainers. Professor Juniper is my friend from college. She asked me to help you guys. So, I'll give you something to help you. This is a hidden machine for you. And we got the TM Cut. Let's go. Or the HM, my bad. There are some moves that a Pokemon can use even when it's not fighting. With this hidden machine, you can teach your Pokemon a move called Cut. It can cut down a small tree. And you can use the hidden machine as many times as you want, like a TM. Isn't that great? But it's difficult to make a Pokemon forget a hidden move once it learns it. And I'd like to ask you a favor too. There's a place called the Dream Yard on the outskirts of Station City. I'd like some of the Dream Mist that Pokemon there called Munna gives off. With that, I'll be able to use GameSync to collect files of various trainers. Anyways, we gotta head back to the Dream Yard because apparently something's going on in there. While I'm heading over there, I might as well point out something about Terrence. I may or may not have power grinded a little too much and skipped the evolution level. Doesn't matter, we'll get Herdier later, but I felt like I might as well point it out because I did say Lillipup evolves at level 16, figured I'd clear up any confusion. Almost forgot that I need a Cut user. I am definitely not teaching Cut to my starter. This is the most contribution this thing is probably going to give to my playthrough. And there we go. Hi, Sacred Sword. Are you looking for the mysterious Pokemon too? I'm just really wondering how showing dreams works. Hey, did you hear a sound coming from the other side of that wall? Come on, let's go see. Oh, wait. We found you, Munna. Come on, make some Dream Mist. Huh? Who are you? What are you doing? Are you talking about us? We're Team Plasma. We battle day and night to liberate Pokemon from foolish humans. What are we doing? The Pokemon Munna and Musharna emit a mysterious vapor called Dream Mist, which shows people's dreams. We're going to use that to make people want to release their Pokemon. We'll show them dreams to manipulate their hearts. Come on, spit out that Dream Mist. You're kicking a Pokemon to make it give off Dream Mist? That's mean. Why? You're trainers too, right? That's right. We're Pokemon trainers too, but we're fighting for a different reason. Unlike you two, we're fighting for the freedom of Pokemon. And setting Pokemon free means that we win Pokemon battles and take Pokemon by force. So on that note, we're going to rescue your Pokemon from you. What? Don't hurt Sacred Sword! And now you die. Were you not taking them seriously because they're kids? Well, whatever, I'm next. And now you die too. Oh, nice, Razor Shell. Oh shit, he's evolving! Congratulations, your shell gun evolved into Duat. I can't believe we lost. But we have to obtain the Dream Mist. Come on, make good the Dream Mist. Knock it off!
What are you two doing, goofing off?
We, Team Plasma, shall separate Pokemon from foolish people. If you cannot fulfill your duties... This isn't... Getsus when he's gathering followers, or Getsus when he's trying to control people by tricking them with speeches. Yeah, this is Getsus when a plan has failed and he's about to issue punishment. At any rate, let's hurry and say we're sorry so he forgives us. What was that just now? That person called Getsus appeared all over the place and it wasn't real, right? Could it have been a dream? And that Pokemon... Oh! I couldn't wait, so I came over. Is that Musharna? Did something happen? Oh, Fennel. Well, you see, Munna was here, but Team Plasma and Munna... and Musharna came, and it showed us something like a dream? And then Team Plasma... I think I followed that. See, Musharna evolves from Munna, so seeing Munna in trouble, it used its power-making dreams into reality to save her. Which means... Wait a second. Is this Dream Mist? With this, I can complete my research. You two come to my house later, okay? How random was that? Sacred Sword, why don't you go to Fennel's house?
Me? Well, I'm going to go look for the Pokemon we saw just now.
And naturally, because we're in a new area and we just saw a new species, we might as well go over another Pokemon. I might as well get it out of the way because it's just another mediocre one, and that is Munna. Munna is a pure Psychic type and one of the second Pokemon you'll encounter in Unova that evolves via an Evolution Stone, specifically a Moonstone into Musharna, which you can receive from Lenora after you clear Pinwheel Forest. Around that point in the game, I can estimate your Pokemon will be around level 20 to level 25, which means Munna has the potential to evolve very early for how much utility it gives. Unfortunately for a lot of Pokemon with early evolutions, they tend to be exceptionally strong at the beginning, but start to become more and more weak by or before mid-game. Fortunately for Musharna, it only really starts to get weak around late game. 29 base speed is never going to outspeed anything, but it does somewhat make up for it. It's very bulky with 116 HP, 85 defense, and 95 special defense. And as a bonus, and unlike Superior, it actually gets a decent offensive stat, with 107 special attack to pair with its bulk. Very similarly to Liepard, the stats are fine, but it's just a little too weak to justify using over Pokemon with the same type. It's usable, but outclassed, but even then I can't really say it's that much better than Liepard. I'd argue it's a little worse, actually, just based on the fact that Liepard's faster. For Musharna, the pros just don't outweigh the cons, at least if you're planning to use Musharna in the long run. Psychic just isn't that good of a type in Unova, especially if you're pure Psychic. Psychic's biggest strength is being super effective against fighting, which is a pretty big plus side, don't get me wrong. Unova has a pretty large and very strong roster of fighting types, but that's about it. It's super effective against Poison too, but Poison is just a non-threat anyways. Grass sucks in Unova, and that's the only type Poison is super effective against. Remember that this is a pre-Gen 6 game, no Fairy types, plus not to mention the fact that, you know, you're playing a Unova game, so odds are you probably have a Ground type or Earthquake user to cover Poison types anyways. The biggest nail in the coffin, though, is the fact that Musharna is weak to Dark, which I probably don't need to explain again why Dark is so good in Unova, and why that is such a big weakness. Musharna is also weak to Ghost, another one of the best types in this game, and the Bug type, which unfortunately for Musharna, and fortunately for the Bug type, isn't all too bad in Unova, surprisingly. In all of the games previous, Bug has been consistently bad, but starting around Gen 4, the type has become somewhat viable in playthroughs. Anyways, and again, Musharna's far from unusable. Musharna's biggest strength is being a very early game Hypnosis user, which is an ungodly strong ability to have this soon in the game. It's strong enough to handle being on a team, and if you really want an early Psychic type, this isn't even the worst option. It's not bad by any means, but Unova just has far better Psychic type options that come a little later. Anyways, probably should get back to Fennel. Ta-da! Thanks to you, I got some Dream Mist, and now I can collect save files of various trainers. Thank you very much. As a token of my appreciation, I will give you the C-Gear to use. The C-Gear is a device related to communications, such as infrared connection or Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. You see, the C-Gear was activated and that screen showed up. If you touch the question mark icon at the bottom right of the screen, you can read about the C-Gear. About GameSync, I'd like to explain a little more about the system to collect trainer save files. Do you have time to learn more? Now GameSync can retrieve memories of sleeping Pokemon using Dream Mist. That's right, we can collect save files of trainers from all over the world. What's more, we learned that if you use GameSync to make a Pokemon sleep, it will have dreams. Then when you wake up that Pokemon, its dream becomes the reality in a space called Entralink, in the middle of the Unova region. Isn't GameSync interesting? If you'd like, please send your save file. I've summed up the details in the PC, so please check it out if you get a chance. Oh, Trainer, thank you very much for helping Fennel. This is from me. Please take it. Don't be shy. You can register your friends in your Palpad. After you register, you can link with those friends over Nintendo Wi-Fi connection to do all kinds of fun things. You can trade Pokemon, challenge your friends to a battle, and so on. Let me give you a quick how-to on registering your friends. You can input your friend's code directly by using your Palpad, or you can use the IR connection feature of the C-Gear. Then you can register your friend. Now that all of that is done, we can finally pass this old man and head to Route 3. It's going to be a long, long road until Route 4, which is probably a good thing, because in this area of the game, there's a few too many Pokemon. So for the sake of this video, I think it's best I save talking about a few of them for later. It's not like they're exclusive to this area anyways, we'll see some of these guys later. On Unova's Route 3, we also have the Daycare. Another fun fact about Unova is that this is the earliest point in any of the Pokemon games where you can use the Daycare, which is kind of funny because in Black 2 and White 2, the Daycare is oddly left in the post-game, due to this area not being accessible in the main story. Another fun fact is that the Daycare in this game doesn't open the second slot to you required for breeding until you get a few more badges. Odd decision, but it's not like we'll be doing breeding anyways. We gotta deal with Team Plasma second. First, a double battle. This will most likely be one of many multi-battles we'll be seeing across the game. And yes, I did say multi-battles. Unfortunately, Pokemon is pretty infamous for introducing features and then removing them at pretty random times. Double battles just so happens to be not one of those features, and has been a staple in the games ever since Ruby and Sapphire all the way back in Gen 3. And it's no wonder, as while single battles are more popular, double battles are the official format for competitive play. Double battles not only offer more complex team composition, but even in terms of how many strategies you can come up with, completely changing how the game is played entirely compared to single battles. So much so that you could unironically make a pretty convincing argument that competitive Pokemon is even more complex than chess. It most likely isn't. I don't play chess, period. And while I know plenty about competitive Pokemon, I don't even play it, so I don't really have a horse in this race. But the fact that you can, and the fact that I have seen people debate this is pretty insane. Also, Terrence is evolving. Congratulations, your Terrence evolved into Herdier. Anyways, back to Team Plasma. Third, because we've got a rival fight with Charon. Sacred Sword, stop. We both have a trio badge, so let's see which one of us is stronger. Ugh, you chose a good move as usual. Why do you keep beating me? We have the same number of gym badges. Our strength should be equal. I see, so that's how you battle. Out of the way! What was that about? Bianca, why are you running? Hey, where were those people headed? That way, but... why are you running now? Oh, seriously? They run so fast! Miss... oh, my Pokemon. It'll be okay, don't cry. Bianca, really, why were you running? You have to hear this. Those people stole this girl's Pokemon. You should have spoken up sooner. Sacred Sword, we're going to get those Pokemon back. Bianca, please stay by that girl's side. Please, Sacred Sword, Team Plasma took that Pokemon. Get it back. Why do they have to take people's Pokemon? They ran inside here. Sacred Sword, your Pokemon's HP is fine. And you're ready to go, right? Then let's go. Sacred Sword, this bothersome bunch doesn't really listen to reason. That child cannot use a Pokemon to its full potential. Doesn't that make the Pokemon sad? It's the same thing for all your Pokemon, so hand them over to us now. Better yet, we'll just take them. Whoa, come on now, I'm shocked to lose against a little kid. What? How could we lose when we have right on our side? Not bad, Sacred Sword. Okay, I'll go return the Pokemon to that girl. You don't need to return it. How troublesome. Not only do you fail to understand, but you actually got in our way to boot. There's two of you and two of us. We'll show you our combined power and teach you that we are right. So there were more of them. Still, why are Pokemon robbers acting so self-righteous? Sacred Sword, we've been friends our whole lives. We've got each other's back when it counts. Let's show them how it's done. The best part about having Herdier really early is that Herdier is the one who gets Intimidate first before you evolve into Stoutland. Which means we also get the attack drop, making us even more bulky. In order to liberate Pokemon from foolish people, we will take their Pokemon. Whatever, what a waste of time. Come on, what reason could possibly justify stealing Pokemon from people? Pokemon trainers like you are making Pokemon suffer. What do you mean trainers are making Pokemon suffer? I don't get that at all. We'll give you back the Pokemon, but be aware of how this Pokemon suffers from being used by people. Someday, open your eyes to your own complicity. Trainers bring out their Pokemon's strength. Pokemon believe in their trainers and respond to that. I don't understand what about that makes Pokemon suffer. Okay, Sacred Sword, I'll return the Pokemon. Alright, now that we're finally done with Team Plasma... Oh, okay, so I was gonna say before I was rudely okay. You know what, I'm just not gonna move. So now that we finally dealt with Team Plasma, it's finally time to pick up our new team member. However, he unfortunately only appears in dust clouds, which is gonna take a while, so I'll cut to when exactly I find him. Oh, that might be him. There he is! This is Drillbur, a ground type that evolves into Excadrill, a ground steel type at level 31. This is, in my opinion, one of the best Pokemon in the entire game. Full stop. It's not the best. I think it's at most top 5, but definitely better than Stoutland. Sorry, Terrence. Excellent stats, great dual typing, good move pool, reasonable evolution level requirement. 2 amazing abilities. This Pokemon is an absolute unit. Only things I'd say hold Excadrill back is that 1, its speed stat doesn't go into the green. Occasionally, and I really do mean occasionally, it can fail to outspeed an Oko faster threats without Sandstorm. Second problem being that it has almost the same defensive stats as Emboar, which isn't really a bad thing, necessarily. Emboar does tank a bunch of hits and playthroughs, but because of the big HP stat, it does mean a lot of both of these Pokemon's bulk is kind of fake. Not like either of those things matter, though. There's a reason why Excadrill is a staple in Black 2 and White 2 speedruns. This Pokemon was so broken in Gen 5, it almost single-handedly got the ability Sand Rush banned in Smogon. And as if this Pokemon couldn't get more fucking broken, in Pokemon Legends ZA, Excadrill would receive a Mega, bumping its defense to 100, its speed all the way to 103, and a 160 fucking 5 physical attack. This Mega isn't in the game, but you are goddamn right, this Pokemon is going on my team. Another real issue with Excadrill is, unfortunately, unlike Stoutland, it can't learn Workup. But more importantly, the lack of Steel-type Stab really hurts Excadrill. It has Metal Claw on level up, which is serviceable, but Iron Head is only accessible through move tutors in Black 2 and White 2, but, you know, but I'm sure that's not gonna be an issue. Fun fact about the Drillbur line is that it is based on the Sandshrew line. Either that or the Diglett line, I'm not entirely sure. But something to learn about a lot of the Gen 5 Pokemon is that while a lot of them are based on previous Gen Pokemon, mainly Gen 1, a lot of them are strict upgrades, and in my opinion, better Pokemon than the ones they're trying to copy or take inspiration from. Excadrill being not only better design-wise, but also stat-wise than both of the aforementioned Pokemon, making it, in my opinion, one of the best Gen 5, Gen 1 copies. I don't know what to call them, but it does not matter. Everybody welcome Hilgrites. Alright, should probably check that nature first. Relaxed. Oof. Alright. Well, that's a reset. So, of course, as usual, gonna soft reset until I get the Adamant Nature. I will be right back. Okay, so after nearly 3 fucking hours of searching, I finally got the Adamant Drillbur. I even went out of my way to get it with the ability Sand Force, which is very nice. So, just like what I named Pansear from the last part, this nickname might go over a lot of people's heads. Tell me in the comments if you got this reference without looking it up. Just like before, I'm genuinely curious, because this reference is probably even more obscure than the last. Maybe I'll talk about it in another part, but we'll see. So another thing I should say is that this Drillbur is currently level 12. I will once again be right back after I grind it up to an appropriate level. Now, while I am grinding, we might as well talk about another Pokemon, and because I don't want to talk about another crapshoot Pokemon, let's instead say hello to Roggenrola. Roggenrola is a pure rock type and is the first Pokemon you'll encounter on your journey that requires a trade evolution. Roggenrola evolves via level up at level 25 into Boldore, and evolves into Gigalith upon trading it. The reason for this is because the Rock and Rolla line is based on the Geodude line, which also evolves the same exact way. And just like Excadrill, Gigalith is a strict upgrade over Golem, design-wise and stat-wise. Right off the bat, Gigalith has a higher base stat total and less speed than Golem. This is good because just like Stoutland, you want your useless stats to be min-maxed. The reason why Gigalith wants no speed is because, I mean, just look at it. Just like Golem, it's not trying to outspeed anything. Gigalith wants to tank hits and hit in return like an absolute truck. And like a truck it does, because 135 base physical attack is the same exact physical attack stat as Excadrill. Speaking of tanking hits, 85 base HP and 80 base special defense are fine, but where you really want to be sending out Gigalith is against those physical attackers. Gigalith has a huge 130 physical defense, so if you need a physical wall and you like defensive Pokemon, Gigalith is incredible. Just like a lot of Trade Evolution Pokemon, its pre-evolution is usable too. If you really wanted to use Gigalith, but you don't have a way to evolve Boldore into it, Boldore is still surprisingly serviceable. It also has the benefit of being able to hold the Eviolite and evolve at any level, so say your friend or sibling is away for a while, you could play through the game as much as you want with it, still have it be a contributing member of your team, and still be able to evolve it via trade when they come back at any time. It is worth saying that at that point I'd recommend not using it, but if you really wanted to use it, Boldore isn't the worst thing ever. Another thing worth noting is that the ability Sturdy was buffed in Gen 5. In previous generations, all Sturdy really did was negate one-hit KO moves, which were not only hard to get hit by, but were rarely used by enemies in the first place. But now it acts as a built-in focus sash on top of the Oko move immunity. So if you were really concerned about Gigalith's usefulness against special attackers, odds are you'll still be able to pull off a knockout regardless of your speed before Gigalith can go down. Boldore can actually be found in a lot of caves in this game, so it's also incredibly accessible. But if you're going to pick up this line for your team, now might be the best time. Similarly to the Mono Grass type, the Mono Rock type has a handful of weaknesses, but manages to luck out against the next 3 gyms due to it resisting or having a sizable advantage against the type they specialize in. After that point in the game, the Rock type can be a hindrance sometimes, but despite the similarities, Gigalith ain't no Grass type. It's not the best, but it is pretty good, all things considered. Alright, so we should probably be getting back to Route 3 now. Secret Sword, thank you so much. The 2 of you got her Pokemon back. I'm lucky to have friends like you two. Thank you, mister. Please take these as a thank you present. Oh, heal balls. Let's go. Ooh, those are heal balls. They completely heal the captured Pokemon on the spot. How sweet of you. I'm going to see this girl on her way. So see you later, Sacred Sword. Bye-bye. Alright, now we can continue going through Route 3. Unfortunately, because they are somewhat important, I gotta talk about this Pokemon next. This is Pidove. In all generations of Pokemon, every region has their own regional bird. Pidgeot in Kanto, Noctowl in Johto, Swellow in Hoenn, Staraptor in Sinnoh, and Unpheasant in Unova. Despite being part of a tradition of copies of one another, I'd argue that Unpheasant actually doesn't fall into the category of Unova's Gen 1 inspired designs. Unpheasant is a lot more unique compared to its closest Cantonian counterpart, the Pidgeline. Pidove is a normal flying type who evolves into Tranquil at level 21 and into Unpheasant at level 32. Unpheasant has the sort of unique trait of being technically one of the first truly different Pokemon based on gender, with the males looking great design-wise and the females looking ugly as sin. The kindest thing that you can say about Unpheasant gameplay-wise is that it's great value Staraptor, and I am not exaggerating. Their stats are very similar, but for some reason the distribution is all weird with Unpheasant. Having 5 points less physical attack and 7 points less speed isn't really all that bad of a downside, at least in playthroughs, but where Unpheasant is really bad is everywhere else. First, the abilities. while Staraptor gets Intimidate, one of the best abilities in the game. Unpheasant gets Big Pecs and Super Luck.
Oh my god, this is trash!
Big Pecs is almost entirely useless. It pretty much just gives the ability bearer physical defense drop immunity. It's not often you get a defense drop, and when you do, it usually doesn't matter. Super Luck, however, is pretty good by comparison, boosting critical hit ratio for all moves. Too bad the only crit boosted moves it gets are special attacking on top of not being very good fucking moves. Oh, okay, so, that's a little awkward. Charon's here. Sacred Sword, stop. That dark, tall grass over there. Every now and again, 2 Pokemon will pop out at the same time. In other words, you have to be careful in the darker grass. I'm heading on to Nacrene City. Okay, well, anyways, as I was saying, it's not like you need crit-boosted moves to be able to use the ability. The crit boost is universal for all moves Unpheasant uses, but damn. Just when you think you have some moveset and ability synergy, that idea just goes straight out the window. Just to add salt to the wound, in the very next generation, Unpheasant would receive Night Slash as an egg move. Too bad it didn't get it in its literal debut generation, because God forbid Unpheasant has a single gimmick or niche that makes it slightly good. Speaking of moves, its move pool is fucking terrible. No Brave Bird, only Fly, which takes 2 turns, Aerial Ace, which is 60 base power, and Sky Attack, which also takes 2 turns. So you can completely forget about any good flying stab. Normal moves aren't a problem though. Quick Attack is fine early game, and you do get return, but unlike Staraptor, Unpheasant also gets no close combat, nor any damaging fighting type moves. And as I'll soon go over, almost no coverage moves either. Now, having no fighting type coverage wouldn't be that big of a deal if there was literally anything to make up for it. Unpheasant's insane amount of coverage moves includes moves such as U-Turn, Steel Wing. Yup. The latter being exclusively an egg move, by the way, and all of these moves are ones that Staraptor can already learn. I'm dead serious. Look up Unpheasant's Gen 5 Learn Set. Go see for yourself if you don't believe me. This move pool looks like something straight out of Gen 1. Unpheasant is a very rare case of a Pokemon being bad, but still having good stats. In Unpheasant's case, it's merely because of how little moves it has to work with. My only assumption as to why Game Freak did this is likely in response to Staraptor being so unbelievably good in Gen 4. Regional birds tend to be either mediocre or below average. They're not usually something you'd want to pick up and use during the entire game, because you know for a fact that you're gonna find better flying type options in the mid or late game. So instead of, you know, actually balancing the game and making Unpheasant exactly what I said, but still usable, they opted to just cripple Unpheasant's moveset and call it a day. This is just a theory on my part, though. If you could look past that, Unpheasant is usable, I guess. But just like Samurott, I'm really only saying that because of how limited the options are. Unova is sorely lacking in good flying options, but in my opinion, you're still better off picking up a majority of the other flying types in the game, and if you wanted a normal type, I mean, you already know what I'm gonna say here. He's literally on my team right now. Did you even watch part 1? But anyways, yeah, early flying type, Unpheasant bad, just wait for better options. Finally, we're in Nacrene City. Come with me a sec. If you go straight from here, there's a Pokemon Center, and use these if you want. Give your Pokemon a Chesto Berry to hold, then if it ever falls asleep, it'll wake up immediately. Oh, and another piece of advice. Nacrene City's gym leader uses normal types. If you have a fighting type Pokemon, it might give you a big advantage. Now, there is a route that we can go to outside of Nacrene City. But first, I do want to go over something. So remember when Fennel was talking about her research? Her research actually doesn't have anything to do with the game's main plot, but her whole side quest is intended to serve as the player's introduction to a feature that, for the time, was really cool. Because it affects how much content is in this game, it is important that I talk about it when I eventually go over the Entralink later in this playthrough. The thing she was researching was Pokemon's Dreams, but more importantly, the Pokemon Dream World. Back when these games first came out, Fennel was intended to be the player's introduction to the Dream World. The Pokemon Dream World was a website that operated via the Pokemon Global Link, that players would link their DS or 3DS and their copies of Pokemon Black and White to over Wi-Fi, and send their Pokemon via their dreams through GameSync. If you could not tell, during this segment of the video, I will be talking about the Dream World and the Sea Gear. This is important to me because I do have a small request for some of you, so I implore you to please stick to the end. I'm not going to force you though, so for your viewing pleasure, I will provide a time card for when I stop talking my ass off. This little warehouse that most players don't even enter or pay any mind to is actually really special. This is Loblolly's studio. My name is Loblolly. I'm a designer of decor items, but I'm stuck now. I just can't come up with a good design. I've been thinking about decor, so great that it'll appear in a dream. If the player has visited the Dream World, Loblolly will talk about decor that people will dream of, and give you one of 5 pieces of decor to choose from daily. Choosing one of these will unlock it inside of the Pokemon Dream World the next time you log in with GameSync. On this website, you are able to do a multitude of activities, like of course, customize your home, a feature that functioned as Univa's version of Secret Bases, and is where you unlock the furniture you obtain from Loblolly. Something else you can find here are berry trees, which is a feature that's notably absent from the Gen 5 titles. You can also play a multitude of mini-games, send items to friends and your own games, and most importantly, send special and exclusive Pokemon over to the Gen 5 titles. At the time, these Pokemon were very special, because almost all Pokemon sent from the Dream World and caught via the Entry Forest in the Entralink had special attributes called hidden abilities. These abilities functioned almost exactly like normal abilities, but were way rarer, only being obtainable through specific methods in future titles like Hidden Grottos in Black 2 and White 2, Hordes and Fred Safaris in X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, SOS battles in Sun and Moon and the Ultra games, Max Raids and Terra Raid battles in Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet respectively, as well as a multitude of other methods. Pokemon caught outside these methods, like in playthroughs, more often than not would have either of their normal, non-hidden abilities, like Pokemon found in grass. Now, what is the Entralink, you may be asking? Well, first, I think it's appropriate that I quickly talk about the Sea Gear. The Sea Gear, or Communication Gear, is a Gen 5 exclusive feature that, unlike the Gen 4 games, actually makes pretty good use of the bottom screen. When the Sea Gear is enabled, it takes advantage of both the Nintendo DS's wireless communications feature and the cartridge's built-in infrared sensor, where you can not only trade and battle with other players in person at any time, features that in previous Pokemon games could only be done at Pokemon centers, but you could also do a feeling check, whatever that is, and exchange friend codes, all done through infrared. Under the Online tab is GameSync. GameSync allowed players to tuck in their Pokemon and send them to the Pokemon Dream World, as I've mentioned before. Finally, in the Wireless tab is the Entralink and Cross Transceiver. First, the Cross Transceiver, since there's really not much to talk about there. Similarly to other features like in previous games, it allows you to call certain characters. But unlike similar features from previous titles, this one is fucking useless. Previous similar features like the Pokegear and Pokenav allowed the player to not only call plot-relevant characters like the Professor, but also allowed random trainers you've battled before to call you and issue rematches. With the absence of any key items like the Versus Seeker from Gen 4, this means not only can you not rematch normal trainers that aren't breeders in Gen 5, but the only item that could have potentially allowed the player to do that can't, making Gen 5 at the time the first generation since Gen 1 to technically not allow trainer rematches in some way. So what does this thing even do that's so special?
Nothing!
Okay, well, technically that's not true. The Cross Transceiver does have one single feature that is special. terrible Skype calls utilizing the DSi or 3DS's internal camera and microphone. So the wireless tab is basically just for the Entralink. The Entralink is a hub in the middle of Unova that basically acts as a sort of bridge between different worlds. I said this before, but I do want to re-clarify that the Entralink will most likely have to get its own time dedicated to it in another video, just due to the sheer scale of this feature. Just know that when you send Pokemon from the Dream World to your games, that is where you catch them. Unfortunately, and this is the main reason why you're hearing about this website and not seeing it, on May 20th, 2014, Nintendo's server partner GameSpy was forced to shut down their services as per the request of the company they were acquired by, called Glue Mobile. The reason why this is relevant is because the servers for many Wii and DS games, including all of the Pokemon games, ran on GameSpy servers. Not all games did. A handful of games, mainly the Call of Duty titles from what I've heard, ran on their own dedicated servers and weren't affected by the shutdown. All 3DS and Wii U games, until their servers eventually shut down in 2024, were safe from the GameSpy shutdown, since Nintendo luckily had enough foresight to make their own servers called the Nintendo Network. But this isn't actually the date when the Dream World shut down. The Dream World would actually close its doors a few months earlier, on January 14th, 2014. The reason why they shut down so soon is most likely due to maintenance costs, and to promote the newer games at the time, being X and Y, and later that same year, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So why did I bring up GameSpy? Well, even if the Dream World was financially viable and popular enough, they likely would have had to pull the plug on the Dream World anyways, due to the shutdown of GameSpy's servers. Even the Pokemon Global Link, which functioned as the Dream World's backbone of sorts, would eventually shut down in 2020, likely due to the same reason as the Dream World: maintenance costs, dwindling player numbers for the games it supported, and to further direct attention and promote the newer Switch games at the time, which didn't require Global Link anymore. While nowadays it is possible to connect your DS and Wii online via fan servers like WiiMfi, it only covers Nintendo Wi-Fi connection for DS and Wii games. Games with features that require external servers and entities outside of Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, which include the Pokemon Dream World and Global Link, are more than likely unfunctional. Fortunately for Pokemon Black and White, their sequels, and the Gen 4 games, they do work with these servers, although to a limited degree. Due to a DNS exploit, you can obtain many event Pokemon long past their event's expiration date via Mystery Gift. Not only that, but the GTS is fully functional too, and battle videos are also fully functional. Almost everything works, except for the Dream World. This is where I ask for your help. This is the Pokemon Dream World Revival Project. If you have experience coding with Godot, or still own a computer or a laptop that had previously accessed the Dream World, I implore, no, I beg you to reach out to the Pokemon Dream World Revival team in the Project Pokemon Discord. While I had Pokemon Black and access to a computer when I was young, I was restricted from connecting to the internet on my Wii and 3DS, despite the lack of risks. It wasn't until around late 2014 when I had somehow cracked the pin that my parents had placed via parental controls on my 3DS and unlocked internet access. Even then, at that point, it was too little too late. Hopefully, someday, via this project, I will be able to experience the final piece of one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. It would quite literally be a dream come true if I could one day experience the Dream World. But right now, for me, this website is just that. Nothing but a dream. Anyways, back to the game. I might as well go over a few more Pokemon and grind up the team before I go try and beat the gym, because the gym leader here does not fuck around. So we might as well visit... not Route 4. This is the outer area of Pinwheel Forest. This area is oddly better than the Pinwheel Forest in terms of what you can encounter here. I think it says a lot that the worst Pokemon you can find here is Pidove, which is a good thing, I should clarify. I think it's appropriate that we first go over a familiar face from the last part that I briefly talked about. This is Time Pull. a water type that evolves into Palpitoad, a water ground type at level 25, and Seismitoad at level 36. The Time Pole line definitely draws inspiration from the Poliwag line. Whether or not it's better both stat-wise and design-wise is debatable, but I think it's undeniable that Seismitoad is an incredibly good Pokemon in this game. Not the greatest, I wouldn't even say like top 10, but he's definitely in the top 25 at least. Seismitoad is carried by two things, and I don't say carried lightly here. First, and like I said when I first talked about him, the water ground type, and second, the fact that good water type options are pretty scarce in Unova. Seismitoad's stats aren't bad, but they aren't eye-catching, and they are definitely Seismitoad's biggest flaw. 105 HP and 75 in both defensive stats is not awful for bulk, but 95 attack and 85 special attack are pretty okay attacking stats. Speaking of speed, even if 74 speed is a problem for you, Seismitoad also gets the ability Swift Swim, on top of being able to set up Rain with Rain Dance, which it learns at level 33. Even if that's not your style, it also gets Poison Touch, which poisons any Pokemon who hits Seismitoad with a contact move. The only thing Seismitoad needs to look out for are grass types, and say it with me, grass type fucking sucks. So Seismitoad might as well just straight up have no weakness. There are spots in the game where grass becomes a slight issue, mainly Pinwheel Forest, but after that, it's smooth sailing for Seismitoad, especially if you decide to run Poison Jab for those rare mid and late game grass types. Speaking of which, the move pool is probably Seismitoad's second biggest strength. For Stab, you've got Surf, Muddy Water, Earthquake, unfortunately no Waterfall or any physical water moves, though oddly enough, Drain Punch, Brick Break, Aqua Ring, Sludge Wave, Poison Jab, Rock Slide, and that's just in black and white. Via move tutors in black 2 and white 2, you've got Bounce, Earth Power, Ice Punch, and even Stealth Rocks if you want to run that for bigger fights. I wouldn't say Seismitoad has good stats, but it's definitely carried by its typing and excellent move pool. Who woulda knew that a move pool is a very important part of what makes a Pokemon good and fun to use? If you didn't pick Samurott as your starter like I did, and you don't know which water-type Pokemon to run, I can't recommend Seismitoad more. He's just too good in this game. Now, would you believe me if I said that Seismitoad is far from the best Pokemon on this route? Well, probably. But up next is Timber. Timber is a pure fighting type that evolves into Girder at level 25 and evolves into Conkeldurr upon trading. Very similar to Gigalith, this Pokemon is not only based on a Gen 1 line, the Timber line being based on the Machop line, but in the way that they both evolve into their respective final evolutions upon trading. This also means the same logic that applies to Boldore also applies to Girder in the way that Girder is actually pretty good unevolved. Arguably even better thanks to Girder not being held back by a bad pure typing. Just like Boldore though, I do not recommend using Girder if you don't have a way to evolve it. But once you do finally evolve it into Conkeldurr, this Pokemon is fucking insane. If it wasn't obvious, this Pokemon is based on Machamp, and despite looking unhealthier and uglier, frankly, is way better than Machamp. First off, min-max stats, 45 speed and 55 special attack. Conkeldurr is a physical attacker, and you're goddamn right he is, with a whopping 140 base physical attack. You're never gonna go first, so you're probably going to get hit a lot, but not like that matters. 105 base HP, 95 defense, and 65 special defense. Not incredible bulk, but still alright, especially on the physical side. Just like Gigalith, he's useful against physical attackers, not so good against special attackers. But it's not like he always crumbles to special attackers or anything. Where Conkeldurr starts to get really insane, though, are the abilities and move pool. Guts isn't all that great of an ability. It's insane when it is in effect, but it's almost like you have no ability at all when it's not. It'll raise attack by 50% if inflicted by status, which is too rare to happen to matter. There are ways to self-inflict, but most if not all are too much of a hassle to go out of your way to get. The only moments where I can say like going out of your way to self-inflict status is if you're up against like multiple fights, maybe like the Elite Four maybe, but what you're really looking for is sheer force. This ability is where things start to get insane. This ability is so good. It boosts the power of the ability bearer's moves by 30%, but removes the additional effects. That may not sound that good, but when you start thinking about it a little more and you start crunching the numbers, this ability is insane, especially when you take into account the fact that Conkeldurr has an incredible move pool. Low kick, wake up slap, bulk up, rock slide, dynamic punch, hammer arm, stone edge, and superpower, all on level up. Earthquake, brick break, poison jab, drain punch, and all of the elemental punches, all of which from TMs and Black 2 and White 2 move tutors. I think I don't need to say anything else. Conkeldurr is an absolute unit. And you want to know the best part? What if I told you Conkeldurr wasn't even the best fighting type on this route? Because these two are pretty rare on this route, I believe only having a 5% encounter rate, I'm just gonna put them on screen. These two... okay, well, I just found Sock. These two are Sock and Throw, both of which are pure fighting types. If it wasn't already obvious from their designs, these Pokemon are based on the Hitmons from Gen 1, Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. And while people tend to shit on Sock and Throw for the designs, I actually don't think they're that bad. In fact, I'd go as far as to say I think they're an improvement over their original counterparts. I know that's a hot take, but I really don't care. I've always thought the Gen 1 Hitmons were hideous and disgusting, except for Tyrogue and Hitmontop. Those guys are kinda cool, but I find it so odd that the Pokemon community, despite hating these two with a burning passion, never keep that same energy for the Hitmons. Makes you wonder why. Anyways, these two are the first Pokemon I'm talking about in this playthrough that are single evolution Pokemon, which means they do not evolve at all. But just because they don't evolve doesn't mean they're not powerful. It's honestly surprising how good these two are with just a 465 BST. Unfortunately for Throw, he's just way too similar to Conkeldurr to be worth talking about. Conkeldurr outclasses Throw in almost every single way. Unlike a lot of the Pokemon I skipped, Throw is actually pretty good, but I'm going to have to talk about him more in depth some other day. My quick summary of Throw is that if you don't like and or want to train a Conkeldurr or don't have a way to evolve Girder, pick Throw. Sock, however, is easily the better of the two. Why? The speed and the move pool. A single evolution Pokemon with 125 base physical attack this early is absolutely busted. 85 speed isn't 100, but anything above 80 is definitely enough to outspeed a majority of Pokemon in a playthrough. Just like his brother Throw and contemporary Conkeldurr, his special attack is min-maxed for his physical, sitting at a measly 30. As for defenses, Sock has 75 in all of them. Not awful, but if you get hit by a super effective move by one of the two types you're weak to, most of the time you will just die. Not like you will, because Sock, just like Gigalith, gets access to Sturdy, and just like Conkeldurr, gets access to a great move pool. Double Kick, Low Sweep, and Karate Chop are early on level up, and Brick Break, Bulk Up, and Close Combat come later. For TMs and move tutors, you've got Earthquake, Stone Edge, Rock Slide, Poison Jab, and Elemental Punches. What makes Sock truly the best fighting type of the three is everything that makes them good, plus the benefit of almost always going first. A decent speed stat can be just as important as hitting hard, as you really don't want to be taking hits first, which Throw and Conkeldurr just do way too much, no thanks to their terrible speed. It's true that they make up for it, but there's no denying that going first and getting the job done is way better than taking a gamble on whether or not your Pokemon will die trying to hit harder. And Sock easily does the former way better than a majority of the fighting types in this game. Honestly, if you don't mind Sock's design, I highly recommend using him. easy S tier, and definitely one of the top 5 Pokemon in this game. If that doesn't scream, put me on your team, I don't know what will. Finally, after all that yapping, we are finally at the Nacrene City Gym. But first, I want to see things no one can see. The ideals of Pokemon inside Pokeballs, the truths of how trainers should be, and a future where Pokemon have become perfect. Do you feel the same? Yes, is that so? I think my friends and I should test you, to see if you could see this future too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could just sweep this entire team. I definitely over-prepared again. I cannot see the future yet. The world is still to be determined. Right now, my friends aren't strong enough to save all Pokemon. Maybe I can't solve the equation that will change the world. So, I need power. Power enough to make anyone agree with me. Now I know what power I need. Zekrom, the legendary Pokemon that, along with the hero, created the Unova region. It's my turn to become that hero, and you and I will be friends. Alright, so after the end fight, we are now, for real, finally at the Nacrene City Gym. Wow, whenever I look at the skeleton, I'm fascinated. Welcome, I'm Hawes, the assistant director. Since you were kind enough to visit, I'll give you a tour of the museum. The skeleton is of a dragon-type Pokemon. There's a theory that it had an accident while it was flying around the world, and so it became a fossil. This rock is amazing. It's a meteorite. It contains some kind of energy from space. Oh, this? It's just an ordinary old stone. It was found near the desert, but other than the fact that it's old, it doesn't seem to have any value. We only display it because it's rather pretty to look at. The Pokemon Gym is just beyond here. At the end of the gym, a very strong and kind gym leader is waiting. By the way, the gym leader, Lenora, happens to be my wife. Alright, finally! A Pokemon gym where a leader waits for a challenger at the back of a museum. It has a great atmosphere, doesn't it? So, I will give this to you. All trainers in this gym use normal-type Pokemon. This is just between you and me. Normal-type Pokemon are weak against Fighting-type Pokemon. Around here, Fighting-type Pokemon show up around Pinwheel Forest. Now I will explain about the gym itself. In this Pokemon gym, if you answer questions hidden in books, you can move forward. For your information, the first book is Nice to Meet You, Pokemon. If you don't know where the book is, please ask anyone. This is one of the first gyms in the game with a real gym puzzle. While I am here, though, I might as well spout a bit of trivia while I fight off some of the trainers and complete the puzzle. Lenora, who is the gym leader, has actually had her design changed multiple times over the years since the release of Black and White. Due to a controversy, which I'm not going to go into depth about, her design flip-flopped between showing and not showing her apron. Because of this, her official artwork was changed, and when the English dub of A Night in the Nacrene City Museum aired in the US, her apron was removed from the episode entirely. Her sprites, on the other hand, however, went completely unaltered in the international releases of Black and White, and oddly enough, even Black 2 and White 2. This also affected the manga and TCG. In Pokemon Adventures, she's depicted with the apron over her shoulder, and in the lesser-known Pocket Monsters BW manga, she's depicted without one at all. As for the TCG, and as far as I know, to this day, Lenora has 0 cards that even so much as reference her. In my opinion, I vastly prefer Lenora's second design. I think having her use her apron as a cape gives her far more personality. but from what I know, that's not the final design they went with. Today, she's depicted with no apron at all, as apparent by her only recent appearance being Pokemon Masters EX, which was likely only done out of obligation, since in that game, almost all characters from the Pokemon franchise are included. For some less heavy subject matter, in Nacrene City there exists an NPC called Last Eye, that depending on your version, will trade you a Petalil for a Cottony in Pokemon Black, and a Cottony for a Petalil in Pokemon White. This NPC is special because she is one of 3 NPCs in Gen 5 that do the same thing, that being Trade and Battle. After you beat the game, if you come back to Last Eye, she will battle you, and what Pokemon she uses depends on the level of the Cottony or Petalil you traded her. Prior to Legend ZA, Red's level 88 Pikachu in Heart Gold Soul Silver, as well as Cynthia's level 88 Garchomp in BDSP, used to be tied for the record of the highest level trainer-owned Pokemon outside of a battle facility. Depending on the level of the Pokemon traded, what you fight could be higher level than Red's Pikachu. This interaction is made even more unique by the fact that if you nickname the Pokemon you traded, the nickname will carry over in battle, making these NPCs the only trainers to use nicknamed Pokemon outside the Pokemon World Tournament in Black 2 and White 2. The other trainers that can do this include youngster Kyle and his Cincino in Driftvale City, and Last Diana in Nuvema Town in Black 2 and White 2 exclusively with her Excadrill and Hippowdon. And as if these NPCs couldn't get any more special, because of Black 2 and White 2's difficulty settings, Last Diana in those games is the only NPC outside of a battle facility to be unaffected by the difficulty level, due to the levels being based on what you trade. You'll meet the gym leader soon, this is the last book. Biology of Tepig, blah 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 blah, I don't need to read all this text. There's a memo between the pages. You've managed to get here, well done. You seem to have wisdom as well as strength. I look forward to our battle from Lenora. Alright, time to fight Lenora. Welcome, the director of the Nacrene Museum and the Nacrene Gym's leader. It's me, Lenora. Well then, Challenger, I'm going to research how you battle with the Pokemon you've so lovingly raised. Alright, so the reason why Lenora is actually so dangerous is because her second Pokemon has a move called Retaliate. So after I knock out this Herdier, I have to be really careful what I choose next. Speaking of which, it would probably be a good idea to switch here, since I am not going to do that much damage. Now with that move, I'm starting to see what kind of trainer you are. No matter how grim the situation, I'll use my research skills to find a winning strategy. Oh, okay. They just didn't use they just didn't use Retaliate. Alright, well...
You stupid
Oh, well, now they use Retaliate. That kills me! That's a crit! Okay. I was not expecting that to crit, but okay. Oh, you bitch. Kill it. Yes! Badge 2 down, baby! My theory about you is correct. You're more than just talented. You're motivated. I salute you. Your fighting style is so enchanting and is charming. You are a Pokemon trainer worthy of receiving this basic badge. If you have 2 badges, traded Pokemon up to level 30 will obey you. Here, I also want you to have this TM. TM67 Retaliate, let's go! Retaliate does a lot more damage if an ally fainted the turn before you use it. If you master the timing, you can defeat even strong opponents. Deer, come quickly. Team Plasma is threatening to steal some bones. What? What's going on? Sacred Sword, you come too. Now, you wait. Enough fooling around. So you've come, Gym Leader. We, Team Plasma, claim this museum's dragon skull in the name of Pokemon Liberation. To show you we're serious, we'll steal it right before your eyes. Well then, here's our smoke screen. What's going on? Oh, we have to go after them. Good day, Lenora. Find any good fossils lately? This is a surprise visit. Are you suffering from artist's block again? Sacred Sword, this is Berg. He may not look like it, but he's Castelia City's gym leader. Eh? Just looking for a change of pace. Seems hectic or something around here. What's up? What's up? Someone just walked away with an exhibit, that's what's up. Oh, hi, Sacred Sword. What's everybody doing here? Sacred Sword, is there some kind of problem? And these two are your friends? Bianca and Charon. Oh, I see. They're trainers. Okay, then. Let's split up and search. I'll head this way. Everyone, Charon and Bianca, I want you to stay here at the museum. Berg and Sacred Sword, you two search Pinwheel Forest. Got it? Berg, you show the way. I'm counting on you, everyone. Uh-huh. You are Sacred Sword, is it? Are you raring up to round up some robbers? Oh, Sacred Sword, take this with you. Fennel gave me this dowsing machine to give you. Now, what did she tell me? You can use the dowsing machine to find places where items are hidden, so you can find stuff that you can't even see. For now, all we need to do is protect the museum, right? Hey, wait for me! Alright, so unfortunately, this is where I'm going to end it. If you're interested in the next part, or maybe the rest of the series, I will have a playlist on my channel, unless it's not out yet, in which maybe consider subscribing, turning on the bell to get notified. A like would go a long way too. Either way, and of course, I'll see you guys next time.